Welcome to the Mum Dem podcast.
By the Mum Dem?
For the Mum Dem.
But.
Are we taking that into season 2?
Oh yeah, we are. We have to.
Absolutely.
This is our lifelong, whatever it's called,
It's
tagline.
just because my son said we have to do it every time.
I know.
We started off as a joke.
And
now
here
it's
we
become
are.
the thing.
Yeah. It wouldn't be right. They'd be like waiting for the, where's the book?
I know.
Yeah.
It wouldn't
Well,
feel like
somebody
us.
wrote the book.
Yeah,
I'd be happy that we're over it. To be honest. We need to grow up at some point and mature. No. Beyond the hood.
I think we're very mature.
We had
Are we?
coffee this morning, okay?
It
We are
wasn't
great.
coffee.
We had matches.
matcha.
We had
We had
matches.
Mel's maple matcha.
Delicious
Shout out to Mel.
matcha.
It's great. It's wonderful. Okay, let's get to it. So, we don't have a special guest today because we are the special guest.
Absolutely.
And the first thing we're going to talk about is sleep. So, Mum Dem, how did you sleep today, Kamilah?
Well, I slept really, really well.
We love that for you.
I love it for you, but I'm jealous.
Yeah,
I'm
today,
envious.
last night I slept really, really well. You know, this is not a normal thing. Normally I stay up late and then one of the girls will wake me up or I'll wake up really early. But last night, I got to the point where I was like, I need an early night, especially if we're coming here today for our reflective episode. I need some sleep. So I went to bed at about 9 o'clock.
Yeah, okay.
9
Well done.
o'clock. My husband gave me a massage.
Aww.
And I was out like a light. The girls didn't wake up. It was, I feel like a new woman. Guys.
Yeah.
You look it.
You do. She when we all walked in, she looked all refreshed, holding on matches, glowing. Absolutely, we
It
know.
was beautiful. I had to record it. I'm going to make a reel.
You looked
Keep an eye out
amazing.
and stuff.
It's great for you.
But you guys, how did you sleep, Emma?
Better than last few weeks, so that's a win. My baby son's going through a regression, which is fun.
Oh, those regressions.
Just turned 1, so he was waking up like every 90 minutes to 2 hours.
Oh my gosh.
At the worst. That's so like last week before our wonderful photo shoot, that's what he was doing.
When you did not have eye bags somehow. I don't know.
We praise God for concealer.
God's favourite.
But last night he woke up 3 times, so that wasn't too bad. My daughter also woke up at some point and came into our bed, but I was like, I need to sleep, so just come into the bed. So we're all squeezed, all 4 of us in our bed. So that was fun. But I didn't sleep awfully in comparison to last week. So
Good.
here we are.
That's a win.
Yeah.
Nah. Rachel's like nodding like.
I have too many kids to sleep on. No, that's not even true. So my twins are also going through a regression. I don't know if it's a regression though, or if it's just like a bit of trauma. So during this season, I feel like a lot has happened in our personal lives. So my babies did not sleep well the first couple of years. I was talking, do you know what? I was doing this, I do some volunteering for the NHS, like a peer support thing. And I was doing a clinic and I was talking to someone and she was asking about the babies. I was like, I have repressed so much. Because I tried everything. I tried snooze. You know those like 50 billion pound cribs that rock your baby.
Which are meant to be magic and work for every baby.
I do think they're magic and work for some, but not for my twins.
Exactly.
So I ended up having them together in one anyway. They didn't like the sounds it made. They didn't like the white noise. The rocking motion was fine sometimes. But it got to the point where it's like, they're just taking up my whole bedroom and they're not sleeping. And I calculated it as being like cheaper than a night nanny. Mm-hmm. But it didn't work for us. I know it works for a lot of mums. And I do not judge anyone who takes that route, but it didn't work for me. So we returned them. There's a money back guarantee, so it's worth trying them. And it was just a nightmare. Like I was being woken up every hour to feed a baby and they were taking turns. They were not sleeping at the same time. But they were quite unwell, so they had their surgery around 5 months. After that, they slept through the night. They slept through the night from their surgery at 5 months until we had a house fire
2 months ago?
about 2 months ago.
I don't even know what month we're in.
Yeah, and they literally, all that time they were sleeping through. It was wonderful. I was not sleeping because I was stressed and I was doom scrolling like a mug. I did not know how sweet sleep was. So I'd get the big kids to sleep. Then the fire happened. And since the fire, 3 out of 4 of my kids have just not slept well. One of the older ones has been waking up, having like night terrors, sleepwalking, waking up, talking about fire. We took this trip up to Leeds recently and we stayed in a hotel and it was quite foggy. And it was like waking up and saying the fog reminded me of the smoke. Because with this fire, like no one tells you, with fire, there's so much smoke and the smoke is hot. I don't think anything could have prepared me for hot smoke filling my house. And it was literally, it was like a dementor, like it flies at you. So I opened my door and it was like hot smoke and you think you're going to die. Yeah. And I found it horrifying. Like I found it so scary. So to my kids, like what must it have been like for them to be woken up like 5 a.m.
Yeah.
pulled out of their beds, and then to be outside and waiting outside, and then they saw all these fire trucks come and all these people run into the house. They don't know what's going on. They just see then their daddy being taken away by an ambulance, and we're just outside in PJs cold. So we were quite lucky. There was a really lovely neighbour who's a teacher. Shout out to the teachers, you guys work so hard. Who came and was like, come into our house. Like, I leave early for work. And they had a baby a similar age to the twins. So there was like stuff for them to play with and whatnot. This is the world's longest answer. This is why I don't answer questions.
It's important, isn't it?
Backstory.
Anyway, let's wrap it up. So essentially, since that night, the twins have not slept through. And one of my older kids hasn't slept. And then last night, my husband had an appointment 9 till 10. And we were like, we'll get the kids to sleep before you go. It didn't work out. We had like a Bible discussion that overran anyway, which ended up just being dinner and vibes and chat. And then the babies didn't sleep until past 11. But then they slept through.
Do you know, sometimes I think when they have a later bedtime,
they always have no, these babies are up to 11, 12.
Take it back.
We tried everything. One of their godmothers paid like a sleep specialist who I've been texting in desperation, and she sends us these like PDFs, these plans based on all of these various questions. It's been quite good, but also my husband thinks he knows better. So he hasn't really been following it, so I've been trying to follow it. And now he's desperate enough that he's like, okay, I'll read the PDF. And that helped, but also we got them a new bed, and then we realised that, because they've been in the same crib for ages, we topped and tailed them, and they both woke up like vertical in the bed. Not vertical, that's the wrong word. I always mix up landscape and portrait and vertical and horizontal.
Just the horizontal.
The horizon
that way.
Yeah, so we're like, oh, this might be why they've been waking each other up.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I slept okay. I didn't get a lot of sleep
In comparison to what you...
but I wasn't woken up in the night.
Yeah.
So I woke up at like 7 and I was like, oh, no one woke up. It's beautiful.
Well, sleep consumes all us mothers, doesn't
gosh.
it? But
I mean,
yeah.
I wish it would consume me. I
Well,
don't sleep that much.
sorry, I meant not that we get sleep. The discussion of sleep and the lack of sleep consumes us.
Exactly.
But this is our final episode of the season.
But before we go on to the next bit of reflection, I just want to touch on, obviously Rachel shared about her house fire, and we know it was, as much as we're laughing and joking, it was very traumatic for her and her family.
Yeah.
But on your page, you shared a reel, didn't you, about some tips to stay safe and to you know, be cautious, and things that I looked at and thought, wow, like I don't think I've ever tested my fire alarms and things like that.
Get a fire safety check. I got one and it was so useful, and it's free. It's scary because firemen come to your house, and it's a bit scary because then they actually had a fire to go to, and I was like,
that happened when they came to my house.
oh my
after the
goodness,
fire.
it was so scary. But they gave us free fire alarms. They told us where our hazards were, so we've all fixed all of that stuff. So, but yeah, it's so important.
So check out Rachel's page if you haven't already. She's got that reel on there.
Yeah,
and
get a fire blanket.
Yes. Absolutely.
They're very cheap. You can get them in B&Q. Okay, on to the next question.
I think Emma's got the next question.
Do we remember?
So, as I was saying, this is our final episode of the season. And so we just want to use this time to do some reflection, and we want to think about what we've enjoyed, what has gone well and what hasn't gone well this season. And we think it's really important because this was the first time all three of us were doing a podcast, and we want to just be real with
project together.
It's been a project. It's been difficult. This might look easy, but between us, remember, we have 1 billion children. So for us to even get here and sit down and remember anything is massive, firstly. Like, I've been going through a whole year of having, what's that word? When you have a baby, maternity.
Maternity leave.
I've now gone back to work. I can't even speak properly.
And remember, Amma is a whole lawyer.
I'm here like trying to put words together because I'm just tired. But it has been a great season despite that. So let's do, should we do highs and lows? How do you want to do this? Yeah? Okay, let's do highs first. So who wants to go first?
Okay, I'll start. I think I don't have a particular high, but I would say, I was speaking to someone about this the other day, doing the Mum Dem podcast, speaking to you two all the time, speaking to the ladies that we speak to, I honestly feel has made me a better mum. Aww. Like, I feel every time we have the
mum to begin with.
Yeah.
Honestly.
But every conversation we have, whether it's talking about growing your own food, whether it's talking about postnatal depression, whether it's talking about being present for your children, whatever it is, it just makes me more reflective and think, okay, what could I be doing better? What can I take from this mum? Do you know what I mean? And I think it's just been beautiful. So for me, it's gone beyond like getting reach or anything like that. It's about this community that we've created, and I feel quite emotional about it, to be honest. Like
it's the mum day.
Yeah.
And I love that so much because that's what we wanted, isn't it?
Yeah.
We wanted, you're getting teary-eyed. Bless you.
I'm not going to do it. Stay in.
Look up.
Go back.
Let it out. It's good to cry.
Yeah, no, it's so special to have a safe space to be able to talk about these things and to just feel safe, and then to learn so much without judgment. Exactly. I think usually if you're learning, it's because you've done something wrong and they're like, this is what you need to do to fix it.
Exactly.
But we have just been on this learning journey together, and so that's been so amazing.
And even though we've avoided the controversial topics, we know what they are. So things like bottles versus breast, sleep training versus staying up all night, not staying up all night, natural whatever. I don't know what it's called, attachment parenting.
Yeah, that kind
gentle
of stuff.
parenting.
Co-sleeping, all that stuff. Co-sleeping versus cots.
Quiet out method, all of those.
All of that. We haven't really gone into those topics, but what I can say is we've had a range of mums who have different stances, and another one like natural birth versus C-section. And what we wanted to do is make sure it's not versus, because this is dumb. It's very much like, so like a phrase I've been saying to my daughter a lot is, my eldest daughter, I have so many daughters, is all families have different rules. Because she'll be like, why does so-and-so get to do this? Why can so-and-so
I feel like we should print it out and stick it on their door. The amount of times I have to say that.
Yeah, like her friends have iPhones and...
Good for them.
All these wild... I'm like, you are
an iPhone at 8. Well, do you know what? My niece didn't have an iPhone at 8.
So no hate. Every family has different rules.
Yeah, it's work for them.
Yeah, and explaining, these are our family rules. This is what we've agreed, and we'll reflect and we discuss it. And now we have family meetings. We do like little retrospectives with stop, start, continue. But what I realised is actually it's helped me to really open my mind having different mums on, and the chit chat we have beforehand, because we usually talk about the controversial stuff off camera or I was going to say the planning, but do you want to come on our podcast?
Planning.
Here are the details bits. And it's been really nice actually to see that there's a range, but actually different things work for different people, right? And different things change. So like, for instance, my son never touched a bottle. When I tried to give him a bottle, he's like, what is this? I think he had it maybe like once or twice, that was it. Whereas my twins, I needed bottles for my twins. They were ill. Like, I was so grateful for everything that was available. I fed them differently. They had different sleep approaches. Like my first 2 kids co-slept with me. They were in the carrier. I didn't even have a pram. Now I'm like, I'm a pram mum. And we can get entrenched into these camps. And I think it's because mums are so sleep deprived and we're so unsupported generally that it can become like, this is my tribe. And then it's like us and them psychology kicks in. So it's quite nice here to be like, no, we're intentionally creating a non-toxic space.
Exactly.
And we'll talk about the controversial stuff, maybe season 3. But for now, it's been so beautiful just to learn from different mums, a range of mums, and learn new things. Even the mums that we thought we knew, it's like, wow, I didn't know that about you. It's just been so beautiful. I think it was Emma's idea to have birth stories every time because she's obsessed with births. So beautiful though, because the amount of mums who've been like, oh, I've never thought about that. No one's asked me that. I haven't processed it even, and it's been quite healing. And also we've heard this from people who've listened to the podcast that random people have just been telling me their birth stories in my like inbox on Insta, and it's nice. It's really, it's like, wow, we're giving mums that space, and even just seeing them and recognizing you went through a lot. Like if you had a C-section, that's a major surgery. Do you know what I mean? And if you had a natural birth, that's a whole a whole sprint. Like however you brought a baby into the world, like that's a really important part of who you are. So it's been great.
Emma, what about you?
It's so amazing.
What are some of your highs?
I just love us. No, I'm joking. I do love us. I love spending time together, and every time I feel so refreshed. Yeah. And I don't like listening back to the podcast because I hate the sound of my voice. But it's okay. But when I listen to it, because I have to listen to it to make sure, you know, it's what we're putting out there is okay. Exactly. But I feel so refreshed by just hearing it too and hearing the conversations. And I love motherhood. I love birth. I love babies. And so hearing everyone's, and I've since I was like 13 have been looking for birth stories. I will watch One Born every minute. I'd Google them. I'd watch them on YouTube. Like, I thought I'd seen and heard it all. I read books from when I was like 17. Like, but yeah, it's been so refreshing to hear from real mums living the real motherhood and not feeling like I'm the only one who does this, but feeling that sense of community, like I said earlier. And so I just think it's so good. And I think like even the feedback that we've had from new mums, from women that aren't mums, like aspiring, from granddads, from uncles, from
random men who are like, one day I hope to have kids and I want to be
or
able to understand my
grandkids. Yeah,
wife.
yeah, exactly.
Amazing.
Like people who
random.
It's literally reached so many. Like what's that word? Demographic? Is that the right word?
We did not expect that.
We didn't. We thought we were just a mum for the mums, but
it makes sense because like everyone has a mum or had a mum at some point, and so
or will be with a woman.
Yeah,
exactly.
In the same way, if there's like a dad dem podcast, we'd listen and be like,
exactly.
Come on, the dad dem.
Yeah, exactly.
Granddad dem.
Yeah. But so okay. So what were some of the lows?
Oh, okay. We've got 2 minutes left, guys. So
Yeah.
quick fire. Can I go? I've got a big one.
She's got a big one.
Go on then. Go on.
The time that we paid for a studio.
Oh my goodness.
Started recording. Thought, that went really well. There were multiple, so you probably don't even know which thing I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And the mics did not record.
Oh my goodness.
None of the mics worked. We tested it. We even downloaded the little testeamer bob on the box.
It was
plugged it in. It was perfect. And then we went to edit the actual episode. There was no sound.
There was literally no sound.
Zero sound.
We had to use our iPhones. Thankfully, we recorded on our iPhones.
Yeah.
Which I think was your idea. Not just iPhones.
Sorry, not just iPhones. We also have Samsungs with the best quality.
Great camera. Even though I mocked Kamilah when she left Apple to get Samsung.
And now it's all we take the selfies on, guys.
Yeah, for real.
One. But that was mad. And people have been contacting me and saying, I love the podcast, but it's hard to hear the sound quality. And I'm like,
we're sorry.
Guys, this is a CIC.
Yeah.
There is a budget and we've tried our best.
We have.
So that was hard because we tried so hard. And then it was like, technology has failed us in a big, big way. The sound is the most important thing.
For a podcast.
We literally rented this studio because of the sound. But they were nice and they gave us a partial refund.
They did give us a partial refund, which is great. But,
trying to think of a specific low, I'm just going to be quite broad. There were quite a few times where it was like what we had to go through to get into the room together was difficult. You know, like one of us was coming from, I don't know, halfway across the world.
Yeah.
The other one might have had 1 hour sleep. The other one had a meeting in the morning, then had to get there, then get to another meeting. And I feel like it's taken a lot to get us in the room every single week.
Yeah.
Or not every single week, but whenever we've done our episodes, it's taken a lot. Putting out content, being consistent, all of that has been a challenge, hasn't it? But I will say one thing that I've learned is that we are super women, guys, because the range of things that we have gone through this year, this season, I lost my nan during this. Rachel had the house fire. Emma's had a whole baby and been on maternity leave, and all the emotions that come with that. Like, it's not been easy to do this. And I'm so proud of us, guys. I'm
so proud of us
really
too.
proud of us. And I look forward to season 2 with you ladies.
Also, Kamilah gives the best pep talk. Sometimes we get these voice notes. I actually hate voice notes. Sorry, people. But Kamilah's voice notes, I'm like,
I love the voice
they
notes.
give me life.
She is like encouragement queen. Honestly, I feel motivated and empowered when I hear you speak. Love that. Love you.
I'm emotional now.
I know. I don't want to talk about this anymore.
What's been your hardship?
Do you know the hardship on this podcast? So I've never ran a business.
Yeah.
I want to be the person who everyone does things around me and then I just do the fun bits that I like. that would be the great, like, that's all I want. Unfortunately, when you're running some sort of business, you can't just do that. Like, you have to get dirty and you have to do things that you don't really understand, or you
have to upload things to
it's long and like editing, and then even like setting up the CIC, and I don't even do most of the admin, but just having to read through it. I think as well, because I've been like so sleep deprived this year, everything extra has felt so exhausting and hard. That even just like booking the studio and booking extra things, like you just forget things, and
sending the questions and addresses to the mum. Sometimes we forget.
Like, and I feel, and it's made because I guess in my head I want to be this perfectionist, but it hasn't felt like doing it has been perfect. So I've just learnt to accept the messy and realize
it's been very messy.
Absolutely,
it's okay, and but it's worked out somehow, despite how I've learned the difference between unorganized and disorganized. It's disorganized, which we are, because we are organized people. It's just that sometimes when it comes to mess happens, which is fine.
We've had to prioritize our
We've
kids.
had
And
to.
so many things
We
went
have
wrong.
to
So I
prioritize
mentioned
the
the
kids.
mic thing. There was a time when we recorded on all our phones and every
Oh,
single
yeah.
one, someone's phone didn't work. So we had
Oh
these
my
janky
God.
angles.
Yeah.
It was like someone got a phone call. Someone's phone just randomly turned off.
Someone's phone died and there was all...
So every single episode, one thing work.
And so we've literally had to piece things together and everything else. And so we thank our listeners for listening and for sticking with us. And despite the sound issues, as found the poor quality, we hope that Spotify and YouTube will help to elevate us, please. Please.
Yeah, no, but it's been great.
It's been fun.
By midway through, we'd already gotten to like, I think it was like 500 listeners on Spotify, which we were proud of. We wanted to get to 1,000 by the end of the year, so please share this.
Please do.
And also, we had all these followers on our Instagram account and people have been sending nice feedback.
And we had so much nice feedback. So much nice
big
feedback.
Up you
so
guys,
thank you so
audience.
much.
Thank you. And let's wrap up. We got
So,
things to do.
this has been season 1 of the Mum Dem podcast.
By the Mum Dem.
For the Mum Dem.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for all the beautiful feedback. And we'll see you for... Oh, my gosh. And thank you to our season sponsor.
Thank you, Leha Beauty.
Yeah, thank you so much. And we'll see you guys for season 2.
Bye.